When my father died, we didn't have a funeral because we didn't care. My father was the greatest and the absolute worst guy. He was an extreme alcoholic my entire life. During the day he was a supporting, if slightly uncaring, good guy who loved his family and worked hard for us. But around 4 p.m. every night he became a monster. I would close my bedroom door in the early evening and never leave. I could hear him walking through the hallway, trying to find someone to scream at. But if my dad chose to berate me that night, he'd pick something about me and talk in circles about how fucking terrible I was. Like getting a C on a report card that otherwise was all A's or some other minor thing. He especially liked to rant how we never paid attention to him and no one respect him, while his wife and 3 children all walked on eggshells every night hoping not to be the focus of his wrath. I left home for the military and chose a combat-oriented job. I decided being in a combat zone was a better alternative than living with my father any longer. The worst part is that he would brag to his friends about how great a father he was because I'd joined the military, never saying he was proud of me, only that he did a good job raising me. 10 years later, my father has been in and out of the hospital for the last 18 months. He was only 63 but a lifetime of alcohol and cigarettes fucked his heart and lungs. He got lucky on 2 different occasions, spending over a month in the ICU each time but recovering. I begged him, warned him. Eventually he was going to go to the hospital and not come back. 2 weeks after leaving the military, I was staying at his house until I went back to school with my GI Bill. He was still abusive, especially to my mom, but avoided me. I think he was afraid of me retaliating. One day he wasn't feeling good. I was his oldest child, and the only person he listened to. My family asked if I could convince him to go to the hospital. I did, and this time he didn't come back. He was cremated and we just left him in a box, not an urn, above the TV stand for a year. We sold the family house recently and we just dumped his ashes in the backyard because traveling to one of the places he loved during life, he was an avid fisherman, was too much trouble. I have conflicted emotions even 2 years later. I am sad that he is gone. He was my father, but every time the family gets together, we talk about how much of a relief it is to not have him around. That causes me to hate myself for thinking ill of the dead. I had a drinking problem for a while but have been cold sober for the last 5 years. I don't even want to take it up again. But I'm about to have my first child and I'm terrified that whatever personality defects my dad had was pushed into me and I will pass on to my son. X200 BTL Drive. My father was a loving and kind man till the evening when he started drinking and became emotional abusive to his entire family. When he died an early death, we couldn't bother to have a funeral or memorial of some kind.